I'm here back again with another random review, and today we're going to talk about and review the 1996 superhero fantasy The Phantom, directed by Simon Wincer, and stars Billy Zane as the Phantom, legendary ghost who walks, and he's a character that dwells in the jungle, and he's a descendant of a 400 years line fighting against pirates and criminals. But now the Phantom has to travel to New York City to take down a wealthy criminal tycoon from obtaining 3 magic skulls, which would give the Phantom, or give him, not necessarily the Phantom, but would give this evil tycoon the secret to the ultimate power. And I know I kind of messed up a little bit, just a touch in describing the plot, but that is the plot here in a nutshell. The film here is directed by, again, Simon Wincer, who directed quite a few stuff, prior to this. He directed the film Daryl, for people that, or for the few that remember that. I've heard about the film. I haven't seen it, nor do I own it, but I think it stars the kid from Cocoon. So yeah, that film Daryl. He also directed Lonesome Dove miniseries back in the day. He also directed Quigley Down Under, which is a entertaining Western with Tom Hanks. Really, did I just say Tom Hanks? Tom Selleck. I got the wrong Tom. Yeah, that would have been a totally different movie. Excuse me. So yeah, Tom Selleck, was the star of Quigley Down Under. Again, a entertaining Western. He also directed Free Willy and The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, which I think he may have directed a few of those. But the film here is written by Jeffrey Boam. Now, Jeffrey Boam unfortunately passed away, I think, in 2000, but Jeffrey Boam had a hand in screenplays for The Dead Zone, The Lost Boys, Inner Space, the Lethal Weapon series. Cast here, Billy Zane, again, as the Phantom, Kit Walker, and I've always enjoyed Billy Zane. I think that Billy Zane is kind of an underrated actor. Like, to me, he never really got a fair shake in regards to a career. I mean, he's been in some big movies, but I think he's a guy that deserved more. And I know that recently he portrayed Marlon Brando in a film that, so I don't know if it's a biopic, but yeah, again, great actor, and he's been in some good movies that I've enjoyed, from Dead Calm to, even his little part that he had in Back to the Future, which, again, isn't a big part, but, he's in the film. So again, to me, Billy Zane is an underrated talent, and he's enjoyable in the film. And I think for me, he's charismatic, and he brings, a good charm to the movie as the character of the Phantom. Kristy Swanson, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, she's in the film as the character of Diana. Treat Williams is our villain here. He plays the evil tycoon of Xander Drax. And I miss Treat Williams. I really miss the guy. He was in some great stuff. From the Substitute, franchise. Tom Berenger being in the first movie, and then from there he took over, Deep Rising and so much more. And again, I miss the guy. Catherine Zeta-Jones, she's a villain, or she's part of the group of villains in the film. James Remar, you've seen this guy many times, from, The Warriors, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. He played the character of Lord Raiden. And he would go on to be in Dexter. Kerry Tagawa, just a year before, he played Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. He's in the film for a little bit. Casey Siemaszko, I recognized him in the opening of the film with James Remar. And if the name doesn't sound familiar, funny enough, he was with Billy Zane in Back to the Future as part of Biff's group of guys, and he would also go on to be in Young Guns and so much more. and he had a little career there for a little bit. And so yeah, I did recognize him in the beginning. You know, David Provel, who, if the name doesn't sound familiar, he played the character of Richie Aprile in The Sopranos, and he's a villain here in the film. So again, the cast here is solid, and Billy Zane again is underrated, and Treat Williams was a fun villain. I thought the jungle setting, like the locations of the jungle, you know, I thought was a fun touch, and it really captured, for me, I thought, you know, the director did a good job of capturing that time period of the 1930s, and he really brought an energetic direction to the movie. And yeah, you can say that it's kind of taken from, you know, Indiana Jones a little bit with a comic book feel, but to me, I thought it worked, you know, with the, you know, comic book like, you know, production value and, you know, stunts and the action sequences. I thought it, for me, it worked. And yeah, I really enjoyed that, again, comic book like adventure. And, you know, again, the director, Simon Windsor, brings a charm and vibe, you know, to the film that is also fun and, you know, lighthearted. And again, I mentioned some of the movies that he directed because, you know, Lonesome Dove, you know, he did that, and I do like Lonesome Dove. Quigley Down Under, you know, great Western, you know, Free Willy. Again, he directed that. And also, kind of going back to the cast here a little bit, I thought the film had a nice array of villains because you have Treat Williams, James Remar, Catherine Zeta-Jones, even though, you know, towards the end of the film, Catherine Zeta-Jones, you know, kind of turns back good. But again, you know, Treat Williams, James Remar, David Provel, you know, Richie Aprile from The Sopranos, you know, it's not a bad group of villains. I thought the look at the Phantom, you know, the suit, I thought it looked good for the movie. And I did like the look of the Phantom, so I did like that. You know, the action scenes, again, comic book like. You know, I liked some of the stunt work, you know, with the plane. And there's some good kind of like Indiana Jones style, you know, and tones of adventure there that I thought, you know, for me worked. And the story is fine. I know some people, the film kind of gets picked on for, you know, being campy, you know, having a campy story, campy, you know, feel and vibe. But to me, I do enjoy it. I just enjoy the movie. I enjoy the, if you want to call it campy, but to me, it's just fun. It's fun, you know, popcorn entertainment. So yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff here that I did enjoy. And like, if I had a minor nitpick with the movie, you know, watching it again, because I have seen the film before, but it's been a few years, the comeuppance of Treat Williams' character, I think it could have been a little bit better, because he kind of explodes in kind of like a CGI fire. But I think that could have been done a little bit better. But again, it's a minor nitpick. But overall for me, the Phantom, I think, is underrated. And I think it's a fun popcorn, again, comic book, superhero fantasy that, you know, brings the fun, and Billy Zane is charming as the Phantom, and a very good cast to complement the film. And, you know, the jungle setting I thought worked, and even, you know, the Phantom, you know, being in New York and the 1930s setting, again, I thought worked. So yeah, again, it's a fun, enjoyable movie, and I think it gets like a 5.1 in IMDb. You know, for me, I don't think it deserves that low. But if I were to give it a rating from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this film a 7. This film, again, it's just a fun movie, and yeah, it's not going to be Oscar-winning material or, you know, an Oscar-nominated movie, but again, I still enjoy it for what it is, and it, you know, just a fun movie. So yeah, that's it for my review of The Phantom. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.